Meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome our guests and those watching on cable. I'd like to start the meeting by welcoming our new recording secretary, Laureen Dalton. Laureen, welcome.
Wishing for a long tenure.
Thank you, Steve. First item on our agenda was a joint appointment with the Secondary School Building Committee, and that's not going to take place tonight. It's been postponed to what, October town
October
meeting
4th, the night of town meeting.
at 6 o'clock, or?
I have to confirm a time with the superintendent of schools, but it'll be addressed that evening, just not sure exactly when.
Okay. Mr. Prisco, we have the minutes of September 13, 2010.
Mr. Chairman, I move to sign the September 13, 2010 regular session minutes as written.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr.
Chairman.
Yule.
I actually don't have a discussion on a specific item, but I was wondering, being that we're talking about minutes, there were no recorded minutes for the special meeting of September 2. We have not had any recording of that.
We're catching up on those minutes, so yeah, they'll be available shortly.
All set?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Correspondence, pass your yellow sheets if you want anything down to Lorraine. Anyone here for public comment? Now the CPC has disappeared.
They were here.
Street acceptance hearing continued. No, it's not 7:15 though, I guess. Let's see what else we can cover. Water Commission appointment, I guess, we could do. Just making, Mr. Yule?
Yes. Interestingly enough, I did not get a copy of that. But, yes, I've spoken a number of times to Ruth Dempsey, who has shown an interest in becoming part of the Water Commission. As you probably read in her, what she has done in the community, she's been in the organization for the North Reading Garden Club. She was a nurse at Mass General, and she is retired at this time and is very interested in giving back to her community. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much describes Ruth. But she really, and this is an area that she feels that she can put in some of her work.
Jeff, just to refresh my memory, on the Water Commission, how many positions are there?
There ought to be 5, but we only have 3 at this time. This will give us a 4th.
And there's no other candidates at
And
this
there's no other
point?
candidates. Plus, we've had a difficulty in the past in having everybody on Tuesday nights. That's been a problem for us. And so therefore, we haven't had a quorum in order to push any issues forward, especially in light of this year. We wanted to look at some of the developing better and more efficient restrictions on water use and get a better discussion on water rates, see what's the best way to make up the deficit that we're.
Is the meeting day on Tuesday something that's mandated?
You know, I was looking to find that, and unfortunately, I didn't at this time. I don't think it is, but
Mhm.
if it is, then we may have to make a change in the bylaw. If not, we're gonna try and make that change.
Yep. I have an answer for you on the question related to the Tuesday meeting, and I don't believe it is mandated to be a Tuesday. It just seems to be that the chairman my understanding is the chairman, it works out best for him. But I know Joe Fode is one of the other members, and he can't make it Tuesdays, so they continue to keep it on Tuesdays because it's, I think, convenient for the chairman of the board. But on our meeting, Bob, we had with the wastewater folks on the 7th, we talked about abolishing the water commission and then reestablishing a new committee that was gonna take water, storage, and stormwater all into one and create a new committee that's gonna have
No,
sort of
that
a
was
bigger.
the wastewater committee, though. That was not the water commission.
But we talked about integrating the water committee with the wastewater together, all in, having one committee, not multiple committees.
No. I guess I look at the water commission as a separate entity, but maybe, you're right, we did talk about adding water to the, but I didn't look at it as the water commission, as I looked at it as a separate function.
Okay. And I don't understand the rationale why we would do that. Why wouldn't we just have one?
Oh,
Well,
maybe you're
well,
right.
It was set up a certain way many years ago, and the reasoning by our forebearers, is not enough time to even question that at this time. And this was set up, specifically to deal with rates, to deal with usage. It was
No,
mandated with that.
I agree.
Okay,
I think the
so
use is smart.
I think, and I guess I'm a little concerned about if there was discussion, this discussion is there, I didn't see any reach out to the water commission to include them in the discussions on something like this, especially if you're considering abolishing a
Well,
committee. I mean, I think
we
it
had
would be-
discussed this with Mark Clark, and Dick was there as well. And I have down that the action was that Mark was actually gonna go back and have a discussion with, I forget the chairman's name,
Casaza.
yes, Mr. Casaza, and get some information and some feedback from the Water Commission about abolishing and then merging into this new committee that would take wastewater, water, and stormwater. Because I believe stormwater is part of the wastewater now, right?
Correct.
And then have just one group, so we don't have
Okay.
to have multiple committees.
I recall a discussion, but I was thinking in a little different way.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fine.
I'm thinking in
just bringing it
terms
up.
of, we're looking to merge these committees for the purposes of providing new services, not what the current water commission is charged with. Which meant that, I think it may even be a different mix of people, I'm not sure, but.
Maybe. I'm just bringing up the information that I had from that meeting, that's all.
Okay.
Well, the water commission is designed and set up to give a completely different perspective. And just like the CPC is different than the Board of Selectmen and so on, gives you different perspectives and vantage points to come to a solution. There's nothing wrong with bringing the water commission in with conversations to look for alternative solutions to water problems. I think if we consolidate everything, and if you're thinking of doing that with the water commission, consolidating everything into one, then you lose the objectivity of coming up with different solutions.
I think we also have a timing issue, Michael. Right now, in another month, 2 months, I would say, we're gonna be considering water rates.
Yep.
And it would be good to have those resources on board. We're not that close to making
I
any
agree.
final decisions on.
No, and I didn't mean to bring it up for us to solve it tonight, I just wanted to bring it up for, put in the back of your mind for future discussion. And I clearly think Ruth is an ideal candidate to help. I personally believe, or my opinion is, that there is an issue with the board in regards to when the meetings are being held. I mean, it's no good if you continue to have meetings with no quorum.
Right.
There's gotta be a solution with that. You can add all the people you want, but if you can't have a quorum.
That's what we're addressing, and in fact, we've had a little bit of correspondence trying to figure out if we can move it to a Thursday night. So we're looking at that, but with Ruth coming on board, that eliminates that need to move it to another night, because then we'll have a quorum at that point.
No,
However-
that doesn't solve that
No,
problem,
it doesn't,
Jim.
that's right,
It doesn't solve the problem, because if you have a committee.
that's right.
They ought to work together to come up with a common,
Oh, yeah,
Night.
I agree, I know, I
and,
agree 100%.
and if they can't find a common night, it's okay on any one given night that somebody can't make a meeting. But if it's a case where every single time they meet, the
Right.
same people can't come to the meeting,
And probably the most
something's wrong.
qualified
Either
person,
the,
too.
the person ought to be off the committee, or
Correct.
something
No, I
has to be
understand.
changed.
I understand what you're saying, and we're looking
Yeah.
at that.
Otherwise,
That's
you
a
have a
great point.
dysfunctional committee.
But, oh, definitely, definitely.
And there's a fair amount of work, in my opinion, that needs to be done associated with our current water situation
Mhm.
in terms of rates, so.
But we have to give the commission the chance to do what it's supposed to be doing and go forward from there.
So, we have a motion. Did you read the motion?
I will. Mr. Chairman, I move to place in nomination the following name for appointment as a member of the Water Commission for a term to expire December 31st, 2012. Ruth Dempsey, 9 Lindor Road.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Christo, second by Mr. Yule. Further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous? Guess we're,
CPC folks are here now.
right, and, the hearing was scheduled at 7:15 to start. So, wait a couple of minutes.
Tried to waste as much time as I could.
Oh, you did. You did a good job. Want to go back and talk about it some more?
No, thank you.
Okay. Greg, is there anything on the town administrator's report?
Mr. Chair, maybe under all the new business, I can talk about a resignation we just received.
Oh, sure, okay.
All right. Mr. Chairman, as liaison, and I don't know if the other members of the board got a copy of it.
We did.
Okay, town clerk has received the resignation letter of Larry Diamond from the Hillview Commission, effective September 30th. Couple of points. One, obviously, Larry's contribution has been, to say the least, significant. He is leaving the commission in great shape. And the books are balanced. The bonded indebtedness is all scheduled out for the commission as far as what they're looking at. And again, under his stewardship, the commission has thrived and will continue to thrive for a long time to come. His term expires the end of this year. I would suggest that we fill it, not wait till the end of the year. The position of basically treasurer of the commission, which is what Larry's been filling for a number of years, needs to be filled with a competent, capable individual. We have a significant number of candidates who have been seeking an appointment to the commission. I don't think we need to necessarily advertise it, so I would suggest that we waive policy as far as the advertising and come to work out a mutually agreeable time to fill the vacancy of the unexpired term, which requires joint appointment by the Hillview Commission and the board as soon as possible. I've spoken with Chairman Stack, and I informed him that you may be suggesting this evening that we meet on an off date for collective bargaining strategy, an executive session shortly after town meeting, and that he would be willing to try and pull together a joint meeting at the beginning of that meeting for the purposes of filling the vacancy. I think it's very important that this position be filled, and again, I think it would be the intent of the board to fill the position with someone who is capable of handling the accounting end of things for the commission. As most of you know, Larry's been fighting a battle with his health, and it's at the point where he wants to consider his time his time with his family at this particular time, and devote all of his energies there. So, it's with regret